The prelims were awesome. Josh Kulabau really impressed me. That guy is an underrated, overlooked fighter. He was knocked out by Jalen Turner, but Jalen Turner's a big, big light heavyweight. Lightweight. Maybe he should be a light heavyweight. I don't know, but that's a forgivable loss. Getting knocked out by a guy like that. And aside from that, we've only seen pure toughness from Kulabau, getting his ass kicked in round three from Charles Jourdain, but surviving and going on to win. I guess have the fight scored a draw. I don't even know. They fought to a draw. I was about to say he won a draw, but still, that feels like a victory, especially the way Charles Jourdain's been fighting lately. That guy's becoming a contender, and Kulabau has a draw with him. Kulabau is an underrated fighter. He's really tough to dominate on the ground and on the feet. I thought he was at a physical disadvantage here. I expected him to be in more trouble, but he was never really in trouble. And Choi's a bigger guy, and he's got that knockout power just from his overall physicality, but he may not be the knockout artist he hopes he can be, despite his win over Julian Erosa. And he doesn't, he didn't possess the skills to beat Kulabau in any other way on the ground. It's not like, his win over Yusuf Zalal, that Kulabau is, not quite indomitable, but he's tough to dominate. And he didn't leave Choi a lot of room, and he steadily outpointed him on the feet, which surprised me and impressed me. Great win for Kulabau. Who the fuck else fought? Oh, Mahashate got a knockout over Steve Garcia. That's pretty much the exact opposite of what I expected to happen, that fight. Almost looking that exact way. I thought Steve Garcia would be the one knocking Mahashate out late in round one, which I don't even know if it was late, but I know there were some nice strikes, big moments early on, and then boom. I think Mahashate dropped him early on and then finished him towards the end of the round. But Steve Garcia, that's not a pretty win, a pretty loss. He looked like Eric Gonzalez, I think his name is, that fought Jim Miller. And he was just flipping those teep kicks and got a little too lazy and then got cracked with a big left hand and knocked out. That's what this was like. Not that he was throwing teep kicks, but he got a little too, I don't know, a little too relaxed. And he looked really sloppy. He was reaching for strikes and just not defensively sound at all. And he paid for it with a knockout artist. These guys were both finishers, and Mahashate took him out. And it was a beautiful knockout, too. So great win for him. Who else we got? Ramona Pasquale in the first fight was outpointed by Jocelyn Edwards. I thought Jocelyn Edwards pretty much won. It reminded me of like Bisping versus Henderson, where Pasquale had a few nice big moments, no knockdowns, but she had her in trouble at the end of round one anyway. But other than that, it was her being just out jousted the whole night. And the jouster was using leg kicks or oblique kicks, the kicks to the knee and whatever. And those don't look like much, but they obviously fucking hurt. And for that to be the deciding factor in a fight, it means your output has to be really low. And that's what I saw from Ramona Pasquale. She absolutely won round one, and she just needed to win round two or three with a little bit of effort. And I bet on her, too. I was expecting her to win, be more of a bully in the clinch and be able to assert herself on the ground with some takedowns and top control. But that just wasn't in the cards. Jocelyn Edwards carries her weight well at 145. She's got big, thick fucking legs. And she was able to move around at a much better pace the whole fight. And I thought she was the better athlete at 145. And that was the difference maker. Jocelyn Edwards was able to move around and make it a jousting match. And Ramona Pasquale, she found some success early on, but then was just reduced to chasing her. So not a great loss for Ramona Pasquale. Certainly not as good as the loss that she had to Josiane Nunes, but a great win for Jocelyn Edwards. She's been in the UFC for some time now, 2 years or whatever, but she's got a nice victory now, and she keeps her UFC career alive. Who else we got? Oh, Na Liang getting knocked out by Silvana Gomez Juarez. Again, this was the first of 2 knockouts, clean knockouts, not TKOs, but knockouts. Got to explain this to you like you're stupid. And in the 115-pound division, strawweights. As I said in the Joanna Jędrzejczyk, Weili Zhang video, there might be 5 knockouts in the division's history. Of course, there might be like 30, and I'm not aware of it. But, as far as clean knockouts go, I bet it's closer to 5. And we saw 2 of them last night. This was a clean knockout. She just, I was waiting for Na Liang to initiate grappling. I know that must have been her game plan, just looking at Gomez's losses and Liang's strengths. I'm sure she had an armbar in mind, but it just never got there. And Silvana Gomez Juarez, as we saw against Vanessa Demopoulos, she's a heavy-handed fighter. And she, despite being 37 years old, she's probably going to be the alpha on the feet against just about anybody or most fighters in that weight class. So great win for Silvana Gomez Juarez. Right, Stevie? Stevie the cat. What are you doing, Zook? All right. Who else was there? There was some... Oh, Brendan Allen beat Jacob Malkoun. Did he? I don't know. It was close. It was definitely a decision. I don't know if it was right or not, but it was a decision. It was a really close fight. Malkoun, he was able to impose his wrestling. I didn't think he'd be able to follow that blueprint that he followed in his 2 UFC victories, but he did, to a large extent, I'll say, against Brendan Allen. And Brendan Allen, he did a lot of good defensive wrestling in this fight and a lot of good work on his feet. Also, Malkoun did good work on his feet. I thought Malkoun really used his hands well. He was landing great punches in particular. Allen, of course, mixing up the kicks and everything. But this was razor thin. And after the fight was over, I thought Malkoun, unanimous decision. Not a robbery either way. But I thought Malkoun won. And turns out he didn't. Whatever. I'll rewatch that to see, because I might actually, that might be worth a rewatch down the road. And who else did we see?